Good morning, Namaskaram. Welcome to the Clep 2 webinar series of ECRT, as well as streaming on YouTube as well as Facebook. మరి ఈరోజు పదో రోజులో మీ అందరికీ స్వాగతం తెలియజేస్తూ I welcome Dr. Shoba garu to today's session. Good morning, ma'am. And I also welcome Prokuri Srinivas garu from Digital Education. Good morning, sir. మరి ఈరోజు టాపిక్ చూసినట్లయితే మంచి ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ టాపిక్స్ మనతో ఉంది. అంటే లెట్స్ సీ టాపిక్ డిస్క్రైబింగ్ థింగ్స్, పీపుల్, ఈవెంట్స్ అండ్ రొటీన్స్. నిజంగా ప్రతి ఒక్కరు కూడా ప్రతిరోజు ఎవ్రీడే దిస్ ఇస్ ద నీడ్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ యాక్చువల్లీ వన్ షుడ్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ they need to tell something about what are the events happened. So very interesting thing. So before going into the topic, I request Prokuri Srinivas garu to introduce Shoba ma'am to the viewers.
Yeah, thank you, Ismail. Good morning, Andhra Pradesh. So now we have Shoba madam with a new topic, and day by day our viewers are also very enthusiastic and viewing the program well. Shoba ma'am is a teacher, a researcher, and a teacher educator. Currently working as a assistant professor of English at Anna University, Chennai. She is a gold medalist in Masters in Education and a TE as well, and the USA certification in teaching English. So, ma'am, we heartily welcome. Please start the session.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to all the teachers of Andhra Pradesh. Shubhodayam. So now, in the spoken English series, we have been learning several items that can help us to speak correctly and fluently. So yesterday again, we had a very interesting topic, introducing yourself. You saw how others took turns in talking. Now, these are all commonplace situations. Like these are commonplace happenings where we will be also introducing ourselves when we meet new teachers, when we are able to introduce ourselves in a very simple and clear manner. So every day you are listening to Srinivas garu introducing me. Similarly, when you are also introducing yourself, just prepare some words and keep so that you can introduce yourself in a much effective manner. Because they say first impressions are the best impressions. And always remember, there is no second chance to make a first impression. I'm repeating it. There is no second chance to make a first impression. So the impression that you create when you are introducing yourself is very important. So the best way to imbibe, to absorb all the ideas that are being discussed in this webinar will be to play it over and over again, to listen to these structures, to make note of them, and to practice it. I hope you remember what I told you in one of the previous sessions. Use it or lose it. If you want to keep it and remember it, you have to keep using it. So only when we use the structures, only when we use the words that are being offered to us, we will be able to use them very effectively. They will be in our active vocabulary. I hope you remember the difference between passive and active vocabulary. So if you want all these phrases to be in your active vocabulary, you will have to use it. So with that, let us go to today's session. Today's session is called describing. Describing is a very important language function, because every day there is something that we are describing. Usually we describe the day whenever your friends call you. Now say for example, you're in Vijayawada and somebody is calling you from Visakhapatnam. So how is it? How is the day today? It is very hot here. You have to say the weather, whether it is very hot or cold. So you will have to use certain expressions to describe the day. So usually when our children come from school to our home, or when our husband. So now, as I was telling you, describing is one of the key aspects of communication. So when you are learning spoken English skills, you will have to describe several ideas that come to our mind. You will have to describe things around you, describe objects, describe people also. If you had looked through the reading material, I would have given you certain exercises, certain examples of describe people, how to describe your day. So let us keep all these things in mind. So we are learning communication via language functions, and today's topic is descriptions. Let us move on. Here is the quotation for today. In describing someone's character, I reveal my own. I hope all of you will be remembering one of Buddha's famous stories. When Buddha goes to a village, he asks one of the villagers, how is this village? That person will describe the village as full of bad people. He will talk about people who are living there as robbers and cheats. And then Buddha will go to another village. He will ask one person, how is this village? That person will say all positive things about the village. Now, Buddha's disciples asked him, though the first person said the village is bad, the villagers were actually very good. It was a very nice place to stay. And the second person said that the village was very good, but it turned to be the opposite. Not everyone was very friendly there. So they asked Buddha, why do you keep asking people to describe? Buddha smiled, the smile of enlightenment. And he said, when people describe something around them, it is not revealing the character of what they are describing, but they are expressing their own character. So the words that we use to describe something is actually revealing our own character. That is why I always say to anybody around me, use positive words. Use words that create a lot of happiness, especially with children. You know very well that children are great imitators, and all of us have to give something great for them to imitate. So we have to use words that are cheerful, that are enthusiastic, because words are powerful, right? The limits of your language determines limits of your universe. So let's move on. What are we describing today? So this is the roadmap for today's session. We are going to try and see how we can describe things or objects, how we can describe people, how we can describe certain events, and also how to describe routines. Routines refers to our day-to-day activities. Describing oneself. So first of all, it is very important to know how to describe oneself. So in introducing itself, we saw how to describe yourself. But let us see how well can we do it. Now imagine this is you. This is a teacher. So how he would describe himself? Now say for example, he is saying, I am a very diplomatic person. Diplomatic in the sense, even if there is a problem, they know how to handle it in a very smooth manner. I am a very attentive person. All of you are very attentive. I know that you are all ready to type the answers in the chat box whenever I am asking. You are such attentive students. He's saying, I am a trustworthy person. I can be trusted. I can be dependable, loyal, polite, strategic. Strategic means knowing how to handle a situation, adopting the best strategies. I'm a conscientious person. If you're conscientious, it means that you're very honest. You listen to your conscience. You do things that are right and appropriate. I'm a thoughtful person. respectful, gentle, and considerate. Considerate means being very kind. So imagine these words the person is using to describe himself. Here are some more words for you. Here are some more words like devoted, diligent. Diligent means very clever, attentive, having presence of mind, efficient, working very well, energetic, excellent, gentle, hardworking. Industrious also means hardworking, knowledgeable, proactive. This is a very good word. I am a very proactive person. I go and do things. I don't wait for someone to come and tell me to do these things. That kind of a person is a proactive person. Productive, resourceful for my students. I am very resourceful. Whenever students come and ask me, I help them out. So many of you are like that, skillful and thoughtful. So look at all these words. These words are all called describing words. More and more, I am hoping you are increasing your word bank. So, what you are going to do now is, you are going to type your answer in the chat. So, what are you going to type about? You are going to describe yourself in 3 words. Just use 3 words and describe yourself. I am, you can choose any word. There is no need to select words only from these selections. You can use any word and you can try and describe yourself. Okay. So I'm giving you 30 to do this. Try and type some words. Magnificent, loyal, and handsome. So Dhama Madhu is telling us he is magnificent, handsome. I am efficient. Can we use 3 words? 3 words, please. I am very active. Eranki Anupama says, I am energetic, active, and talented. Wow. And then Durga Prasad Bonangisar says, straightforward. I'm straightforward, hardworking, a very positive person. Somebody has typed, I am an incredible person. So the YouTube chat is just running very fast. I'm not able to read it. Loyal, active, hardworking. Pita Syamkumar says, I am very confident. Wonderful. So all your answers are just pouring in. Sportive, Mercury, and energetic. Now, mercurial. This is a word, describing word, which means that your mood suddenly changes. Mercurial. Okay. So, we have to be very careful when we are using these kinds of describing words. Okay, that was the first activity for today. Very good. A round of applause for all those who participated very actively. Let us move on now. You described yourself. That is very good. How can we describe things or objects? There are many describing words. Again, if we look at the grammatical aspect of it, we will be thinking about adjectives, right? So we are learning grammar vocabulary implicitly, not directly, but implicitly. All of us know these ideas. Shapes of objects. So when you are trying to describe an object, you have to describe it based on its shape. So square, circular, rectangular, all of you know. Oblong, pyramid, solid, concave, geometrical, symmetrical, pointy, twisted, and 3-dimensional. So these are some words, some describing words we can use when we are talking about the shape of the object. Okay. So here is a picture. you can see so many shapes on it. Now, say for example, this is a gift wrapper and I am trying to describe the gift wrapper. I am telling you, please take the gift wrapper. You're asking me which one? The one which has so many dash shapes on it. So what shape would you say? I'm giving you 10 seconds to choose the right answer. So this is the list. You can choose any word from the list. You can type the answer in the chat box. Describe these. What is one word you will use to describe these shapes? Look at the shapes carefully. And this is the list of words. Choose one word that will describe all the shapes. You have to choose only one word. I can see all the answers coming in. Good job, all of you. Circular, triangular. Some of you have written geometric. That is the answer. Very good. So, these shapes can be described as geometric. Okay? Let us move on. Now, when we talk about colors, I'm not going to talk about blue, red, yellow, because I know that all of us know all the colors. But there is another way to describe the color itself, whether it is dark, vibrant colors, very vibrant. Today, if you see my PPT, it is very vibrant. So many colors are there. Neon, so I can see the word neon repeated. Pale or dull, bright. Monochrome refers to a single color. Festive, very happy. Blended or drab. Drab also refers to dull. So these are all certain words that we can use to describe the colors. Now it is always better to learn these words and also use them whenever you are describing. So hereafter, say for example, today, you just decide. Whenever I'm looking at a color, I'm not only thinking, okay, this is brown color, this is white color. I'm also going to think what kind of mood it is evoking, whether it is vibrant or drab or monochrome. Okay. So here I have another question for you. How will you describe this color? So there are so many words I used in the previous slide. How will you describe the color? I'm showing the picture again. Which word do you think is the most suitable to describe the color? So some of you have started typing your answers. Which word will you use? Will you use dark, pale, bright, festive, drab, blended? So which word? Colorful. Obviously, it's very colorful. Monochrome. Monochrome means one color. You can see so many colors. Now all the right answers are coming. Festive. That is the answer. So this particular color shows that it is very festive. Now neon. What is this neon? Neon refers to those bright colors, those fluorescent kind of colors. You know, these days when we are buying color sheets, we also get many neon colors. Earlier they were not available, but now when you buy these post-it notes, small colored papers, you are getting all these neon colors also. Right? So this is a very festive color. Of course, they are celebrating, so the color is very festive in nature. Now, when you're talking about the size, usually we will be using words like small and big. But there are so many other words. So we will be usually saying correct size. Instead of that, you can say this is the ideal size. Ideal size for shoes, clothes. Of course, these words you know very well. Words like gigantic, mammoth refers to things that are very big, massive, big size. Miniature is very small, tiny. Petite also refers to a very small thing, something that is very small. So when we are describing size, we can try and use these words. Look at this picture. How will you describe this size? Imagine somebody gives you this. How will you describe this size? Which word will you use in order to describe this size? I'm showing you the list of words. You can just go through and you can pick a word that you think is suitable to describe the picture. You saw the picture. A man is carrying a football. I'm not describing the football. You are going to describe the football for me. So how will you describe this football? Which word are you going to use? I want you to type in correct spellings. So let me see. Huge. Okay. Giant. So many of you have typed the correct answers. Very good. So this is how we should also be describing. And as teachers, when we are describing the sizes, we will be using our gestures. Whenever we say small, our hands automatically goes like this. Whenever we say huge, right? So this is a gigantic or this is a massive, huge, any word that you can use. Giant ball also you can use. Now think about the texture. So Indians, if you see, we are very conscious about texture. Whenever we buy anything, we want to feel and see. Even when we buy a laptop, we will be seeing what is the smooth finishing or what is the texture, right? So when we are buying saris, we are extra careful. So women will understand what are the difficulties and the complexities involved in buying a sari. So now if you see, these are some of the words. I know all women teachers are smiling. So now if you look at these words, these describe the textures. Leathery. It is very leathery to touch. Slippery, you know very well. Rough, sharp, silky, creamy, we say. It is very creamy in texture. Squishy. Squishy is something that is also very creamy or like a slime. Fluffy we usually say for soft things, furry things. Like when you touch a puppy or a cat. Grainy. When the finishing is a little dull. Or whenever you see a picture or a photo, if it is not very clear when it is taken at night, it will be grainy. You can see small dots in it. Crunchy when it comes to food, so this is very crunchy. Sticky when you're eating chocolates. Juicy and crispy. So these are all certain words that we can use to describe the texture. So now I'm going to show you a picture and you are going to describe the texture for me. You are going to tell me whether it is leathery, rough, sharp, silky, crunchy, crispy, or fluffy. Okay, are you ready? Here is a picture. Here is a picture and you are going to describe the texture. How is this texture? What word will you use to describe the texture? Texture is also a very important word when you are describing. So please use it in your vocabulary. Here is the list of words that I am using. So all of you are very fast. Answers are coming in really fast. Yes. All of you are typing the correct answers. Silky. Right? So it is very silky, we say. Now, if we are going to describe the condition of things, right? Sometimes we say this is dirty, this is new, this is old. But more than that, if you want to sound really interesting, several words that you can use. Words like, this is very old-fashioned. When you look at sari patterns or when you look at shirt models, you say this is very old-fashioned. We don't say that. Our sons and daughters say that very often to us. I hope that is the same for you also. Worn out shoes, something that has become old and cannot be used. Brand new, crooked, cracked, dirty, clean, shiny, affordable. This is affordable, means I can buy this. This is not very expensive. Affordable. This is very retro. Retro in the sense very old, like old-fashioned. It is the opposite of modern. Intricate. When you go to the Taj Mahal and when you look at the patterns, the carvings, the paintings, you said this is very intricate patterns. When you go to the temples especially, right? So when you go to the temples, you look at the pillars of the temples and you say, look at the intricate carvings of the temple. And then something that is very trendy. Okay, something that is very trendy to use. All of us want to use trendy mobile phones, trendy bags, trendy shoes, right? So we can say this is very trendy now. Or it can be environment friendly also. Now this bag is very environment friendly. So these are all certain words that we can use to describe the condition. So let me show you a picture and I want you to choose the right word. Look at all the words once thoroughly. Look at the spellings. Okay, here you go. Here is the picture for you. How will you describe these bags? What is the right word? What is the right word from this list to describe these bags? So all of you have started typing. That are coming in. These are affordable bags. Very good. Eco-friendly, environment-friendly, trendy. Yes, these bags are also trending now. Thank you for all your answers. So now you know when you look at something, how to describe it. Try and use these phrases, try and use these words every day so that they become part of our active vocabulary. Very good. These are environment-friendly bags. These are affordable bags. Let us move on to the next section. The next section is called describing people. Now, this is something that we do on an everyday basis. We keep describing people often. So these are all certain words that we will use. General appearance. So when it comes to general appearance, we say that somebody is looking beautiful or pretty, elegant. Look at this word, elegant. Middle-aged, handsome. Some of you described yourself as handsome. Gorgeous looking, attractive or ugly, right? When you're talking about the build of a person, build as in the body size, you use these words: well-built, muscular, plump, thin. So these are some words that you usually use to describe the build of the person. Look at this word, the personality. I think more than the physical appearance, we should focus more on describing personality. So these are some words that we can use. I have already shown you some words in the beginning of the session also. So these are some positive words. However, people are not always positive, right? Sometimes we have to describe them otherwise also. When you want to discuss with your family, see, these are all certain qualities I don't like in you. How do you describe those qualities? So some of them are self-obsessed. They think only about them. Self-obsession. They think only about their problems, their gains. Some are humorless, some are dull, dishonest, unreliable. Grumpy. Grumpy means always complaining, not smiling. Inconsiderate, not thinking about others, self-centered. So these are all certain personality traits that all of us have as human beings. Now what I want you to do is talk about a person you know, describing their appearance, build, and personality. So here is a sentence structure. He or she is a dash, another blank, and another blank, but can be sometimes one word which describes their negative personality. Okay, you can try and write a sentence using this kind of a sentence frame to describe somebody. You can practice it later also. Describing events. So all of us attend so many events and we want to describe it as soon as we come home. So usually you use these kinds of words when you want to describe events. Ultimate, rare, divine, violent, stellar. Stellar means excellent, like a star. Common, unusual. So unusual is a word we will be using when we find something suspicious. This is a significant event, memorable, possible, and disastrous. So very recently we had a disaster, right, in Visakhapatnam. So these are all words that you can use to describe events in order to explain their quality. Imagine you have been invited by the president of the country to receive an award. What a nice event. How will you describe this event? Okay. So how will you describe this event? What is the event? You are going to receive an award from the president of the country. So think about this event and choose one word from this picture about what you feel. There is no correct or wrong answer. Think about your feelings, how you will describe this event, and please type it in the chat box. Type your answer in the chat box. What kind of event is it going to be? So all of you are, smiling when you're typing this. I can see it is a stellar event. Wonderful. It's a disastrous event. Some of them have said it's a disastrous event. Disaster means dangerous, memorable, ultimate. Of course, it is an ultimate, no, right? Significant, memorable, surprise. It's a divine event. So some of you think it will be a divine event. Very true. So these are some words that we can use to describe events. Thank you for all your answers. Now, I have some words. So all this time I was showing you one particular picture and I was asking you to type the describing word. Now I am doing the reverse. I am giving you some describing words. And all these describing words can be used to describe one particular aspect. So you can say something like, this is a very lively dash. What will come in the blank? This is a very cheerful dash. Relaxing. This is very irritating dash. So which is the right word that all these words are trying to describe? I am not giving you the word. I want you to think. There is the word romantic, relaxing, aggressive, tranquil. So just think for a moment. Think for a moment and tell me which aspect or which thing all these words are trying to describe. It's a universal aspect. Let me check all the emotions, persons, relaxing music. Udaya Kiranalu Garu, the answer you have given is correct. Music is the answer. Mood. So all the answers are coming in. So we had the right answer from Udaya Kiranalu. Kudos. This is the answer. Music. When we are describing music, we will be using all these terms. Very good. When we are describing our routines, how do we describe routines? So usually, as we are all teachers, when we say, these are some words that we are using very commonly, right? When you describe your routine, you say, I usually train teachers. I help children with mathematics. I look after very young children. When you're describing your work as teacher, these are some words that we will commonly use. Again, I'm telling that these kinds of words you should be able to use when you're moving from Telugu to speaking in English. Those who are already very good in English, they will know all these words. So this is for people who are trying to learn things new. So when you're trying to describe your routine, you will be able to use these kinds of words, phrases. Usually I get up at 6. You can use these words. Have a bath, get dressed, wash your hair, have breakfast, eat breakfast, grab a coffee. You know, because there is no time, you just grab a coffee from the canteen. Leave, get to school, arrive at school. It is important that you use these phrases. Then when you come back from school, what do? You surf the net, you watch TV, you catch up with friends, you always do the paperwork. As teachers, when we come home, we have a lot of paperwork to do. Correcting the paper, setting question paper, assignments. We also have to do the housework. So homework is different from housework, please remember. And then we go to bed. So these are all some words that we can use to explain daily routine. Okay. So today we have seen how we can learn in a very general spoken English manner when you want to describe ideas. But as teachers, I know that you will be using the language function of describing in your classroom transaction more. When I'm talking about classroom transaction, when you take a lesson, there are so many aspects in the lesson which has to be described. And even in the lesson, there will be a lot of description. Now, say for example, if the lesson is about a village, there will be a lot of describing words about the village in several places of the lesson, in the first paragraph, last paragraph. It will be extremely useful for the students if you are going to make them understand and underline, identify all the describing words about the village, about the people, about the main character in the story. So how can we sensitize children to describe things? So in the previous sessions, we had how you can introduce. So we had one teacher, Sheshadri Garu, who was explaining how you can introduce. So in that particular lesson, he was saying how Tenali Raman introduces himself, and then he created a small activity where he is introducing himself, and then he is building on that. So Tenali Raman was only saying, I am Tenali Raman, I am doing this. But then he added some more points like my favorite subject, my favorite food. So all this. And then based on the modeling that he did, he made the students also repeat it, right? So these kinds of small classroom transaction activities we should be able to do based on the textbook. Because when we try and follow the textbook, because the textbook has been written after a lot of research, every sentence in the textbook has a reason to be there. So as teachers, we must try and find out the reasons. We must try and present the ideas in a very clear manner. So today again we have another teacher who will be explaining us how to describe, how to teach students description when we are trying to handle a lesson. So when we are handling a lesson, how can we use the lesson become a rich resource for children to learn describing, right? So over to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope Samata Garu is ready. Ishmael sir?
Mute. Sir, shall I start speaking?
Share screen, all that.
Yes. Just a moment, sir. Yeah, sir. Am I not visible? Okay, sir. Shall I start my session?
Yes, ma'am. You start the session.
Okay, sir. Good morning, my dear friends. I am Samata, working as a secondary grade teacher in Mandal Parishad Pradhamika Pathshala, Nalteru, Anandapuram Mandal, Visakhapatnam district. Now, I am going to talk about classroom transaction. Before going to that, I will just show you the roadmap of today's session. Today, what we are going to see about how to create a dynamic description using the descriptive language like adjectives, adverbs, gerunds. And also we'll see some of the strategies to improve our descriptive skills and later classroom activities. Let me start with the classroom activity, classroom transaction. I will take class 3 subject English and the lesson is the recipe book. Before going to the topic, I will engage our children into my lesson. I will start with warm-up activity like I will make to sing a rhyme, or here I will ask some riddles. Like for example, the riddle related to a lesson. Like ikkada, for example, this is a round and round, red in color and juicy. What is that? I will ask. Then children may say it is like tomato. Yes. And then like I can ask like rectangular shape, and it helps in cooking, and when we let it, flame will come. What is that? They could say it is a gas stove. So I'm making the students to engage into my lesson, the recipe book. And then I will show the trigger picture. Trigger picture helps us to introduce the lesson, and it also helps to engage the children into a topic, and trigger picture also make the children to aware of the new topic or revise the old lesson. For example, in our lesson, the recipe book, I will show this trigger picture and I will ask the students to observe this picture carefully and say few, like I will ask questions like, what did you see in the right hand of that girl? What the girl is holding in her hand? Like they can say that some a spoon or like that, and then I can also ask like what are list some of the things, at least 5 things you can see in that picture. Then children will easily observe the picture and they will answer. In this manner, I will motivate the children into my lesson. This is called as a pre-reading activity. Trigger picture helps to draw their attention towards the lesson. Later, I will go into the lesson, that is a reading part. ఇప్పుడు రీడింగ్ పార్ట్ లో లెసన్ టోటల్ గా నేను చదువుతాను. I will read and I will make the children to listen to my lesson actively. Like in between, ila adagachu. Like when they come across the words which are used in kitchen, like stove, knife, ila even a words confused, they have to clap their hands. In this manner, if I read the lesson, they will listen to me. That will be active participation. This is called as a active listening, right? So later I will explain the lesson. Here I made a video for this, which is an audio video visual, which helps the student to engage effectively, and they can understand the lesson. So let me share one video which is prepared by me. I tried it. I want to share this video to all of you. The recipe book. Once there lived a man named Raju. He owned a small hotel. Everyone who visited his hotel liked the food as it was very delicious and tasty. One day he got a big order, but unfortunately he fell ill. He started to cook, but suddenly he fainted. Recipe book saw this. Recipe book said, "My dear friends, our Raju fell ill and he is on bed and unable to cook food. I want to help him." The pot said, "I'm big enough to prepare rice for the party. Mixture, I can grind things that you need for the cooking in minutes." Knife came and said, "I can slice and dice the vegetables." Finally, stove came and said, "Hello, can I help you?" They started cooking and prepared all dishes for dinner. Raju woke up and surprised to see the food was ready for the party and taste delicious. He looked at the recipe book and said, "Who helped you in cooking?" Recipe book pointed all of them. Finally, Raju thanked everyone for preparing such a wonderful and delicious food. This is the video. This video helps the student to understand the lesson very easily, and they will engage in the lesson because they got habit to watch so many comic stories, right? So in this manner, I will make the children to engage into my lesson. And now I will ask the questions related to this video. Like I will show the video once again without the subtitles. అంటే ఈసారి నేను సబ్ టైటిల్స్ కింద వస్తున్న సబ్ టైటిల్స్ అన్ని I will remove the subtitles and I will ask them to describe the picture. Initially, they may say only words. For example, first picture, my name is Raju, and second picture lo, I owned a small hotel. They can't make a full sentence, but they can say that Raju and a hotel. So later stages, they will develop to frame a meaningful sentences. In this way, I will encourage my students to develop their describing skill with the lesson. And also, I will ask them, I will also, one type of activity, this is, I will show now. This is a type of role play, which is between customer and Raju. Customer is calling Raju and Raju is responding in the phone call. Let's see, I will give the text. You just guess what will be the answers in the text. For example, I will also give the answers. First, guess the answers. For example, Raju is got a phone call and Raju is saying, "Hello." Customer said, "Hello, is it Raju?" Raju replied, "Yes, Raju speaking." Then customer said, "Can you take an order for the birthday party?" Then Raju replied, "Yes, can you tell me the date?" Then customer said, "For the next Sunday." Raju replied, "Yeah, sure. How many plates required for the dinner?" Customer said, 500 plates. And then Raju replied, "Okay." come in the evening. Please pay the bill in advance. Then customer ended by saying, okay, thank you. This is the type of role play. I will ask the students to act like customer and Raju. I will make some more like role plays, some more activities like this related to the topic describing, and I will take some context from the lesson itself. And then, as madam explained everything about the adjectives. Adjectives are the describing words, as we know. And like I will tell you about some describing adjectives in the context of objects. How can we describe the objects? మన ఏమైనా ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డిస్క్రైబ్ చేయడానికి there are several things, ways to describe an object. Firstly, we will describe its physical appearance. For example, నేను ఒక హ్యాండ్ బ్యాగ్, I lost my handbag, పోయింది అనుకోండి. Then how can I say, like, first దాని సైజ్ కోసం మాట్లాడదాం, right? Whether it is big one, small one, medium size handbag I lost అని చెప్తాం కదా. And then we will talk about its shape. Like, we know very well whether it is a rectangular, square one, oval one, and so many we can talk about. And another thing, we can talk about its color. And then if you want to add more details to your description, you can talk about its material. Like for example, my handbag, it is made up of a leather one, or another like plastic or earthenware, clay, mud. We can talk about its material also. And then texture. Texture means whether it is a smooth one, soft one, rough, hard, and so on. And lastly, we can talk about cost, whether it is a cheaper one, whether it is an expensive or affordable thing, like that. And coming to describing people, ఎవరైనా మన ఒక వ్యక్తి కోసం మాట్లాడాలి, డిస్క్రైబ్ చేయాలి, ఫస్ట్ మనకి మైండ్ లో ఫ్లాష్ అయ్యేది ఫిజికల్ అపియరెన్స్, రైట్? సో ఫిజికల్ అపియరెన్స్ కోసం మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ వీల్ టాక్ అబౌట్ దర్ హైట్, like whether she is a tall woman or a short one. And like weight, we can also talk about their weight. She is slim, he is overweight, he is muscly. Like that, we can talk about their physical appearance. And then coming to the age. Age kosam matladalante, like we can talk about like his kind of a middle-aged, old man, or young age, or around 30s, about 30s, and so on. And clothing. To talk about the clothing, we say present continuous tense. Like something, she is wearing cream color saree with jacket. He is wearing yellow color jeans with a blue color shirt, and so on. Attractiveness, like she is pretty, she is gorgeous, he is handsome. We can talk about like this. And personality. This is very important quality everyone have to have. Like someone will be honest man, he is a funny man, and he is optimistic, is pessimistic, and so on. We can talk about their personality. And now let me talk about how to describe event. Like to describe any event, we have to talk about what the event was, and when the event was happened, and where it happened, and how the event was happened, and why the particular event was happened. We can talk about all this. So here, to coming to our topic, the recipe book. To explain the recipe book, I have taken some screenshots from our lesson, and I have the sentences which describe the adjectives. For example, see the thing, second sentence, he owned a small hotel. Here, small is a describing. ikkada small anedi hotel ela untidi, chinnada peddada. So ikkada chinnadi describe chestundi hotel ni. So small adjective. And so on. ఇంకా నేను అన్ని హైలైట్ చేసి పెట్టాను. Everyone who visited his hotel liked the food as it was very tasty. ఇక్కడ tasty adjective, adverb very, and bulk orders, quiet worry. And see next screenshot here. This is all our text which is given in our textbook about the recipe book. Next is చూడండి, he is on bed and he's not able to cook food for the big party. Party elanti party, it's a big party, so party ni describe chestundi, so it is also an adjective. In this way we can explain the describing things, describing language like adjective toward children by using the sentences from the context. And Raju tasted the food and it was delicious. Food ni describe chestundi, chala tasty, very delicious, so it is also an adjective. And lastly, Raju thanked them all for preparing such a delicious dinner. How the dinner was, it was very delicious. సో ఇలా మనం పిల్లలకి డిస్క్రైబింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేటప్పుడు లెసన్ లో ఉన్నవి తీసుకుని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తూ వాళ్ళకి అడ్జెక్టివ్ ని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేస్తాం. అండ్ దెన్ నేను జనరల్ గా నా క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో ఈ టిప్ ని యూస్ చేశాను. ఇట్ కేమ్ అవుట్ వెరీ వెల్. లైక్ ఐ ఆస్క్ మై చిల్డ్రన్ టు సప్లై వన్ డిస్క్రైబింగ్ వర్డ్ బిఫోర్ దే నేమ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫస్ట్ నా కోసం చెప్తాను, ఐఎమ్ సమత. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ స్మైలీ సమత అని పెట్టుకున్నాను. అండ్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ శోభా మేడం, షీ ఇస్ పార్కింగ్ శోభా. అండ్ శ్రీను, సూపర్ శ్రీను. ఇలా ప్రతి చైల్డ్ కి they have to supply one describing word before their name, so that they will understand describing is nothing but adjective అని తెలుస్తుంది. And only adjectives. Is there any other describing language to make our description more effective? Before going to that, see this, practice describing. మన క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో పిల్లలకి డిస్క్రైబింగ్ ఎలా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేపిస్తామంటే, సి ఐ విల్ మేక్ హోల్ క్లాస్ ఇంటూ పేర్స్. ఇద్దరిని నేను చేస్తాను. ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్ వన్ పైర్ టు కమ్ ఫ్రంట్ అండ్ ఐ విల్ డిస్ప్లే ద పిక్చర్స్. లైక్ చూడండి, ముందే సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని పెట్టుకోవాలి, డిస్ప్లే చేస్తున్నాను. లైక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రాజు పిక్చర్ డిస్క్రైబ్ చేస్తాను. ద వన్ హూ వాచెస్, హూ సీస్ ద పిక్చర్ హ్యావ్ టు డిస్క్రైబ్, అండ్ ద అదర్ వన్ they have to guess. Like the one who can see the picture have to describe in his own words. Tan sonta matala Rajuni describe chestadu English lo, and the other one have to guess and give the answer. In this manner, I will make the class engage in the into my lesson, and I will improve their describing skill. For example, Raju, he is waving his hand. He is a man who has got a small hotel. Ila Babu, the student will explain, will describe, and the other one will guess. See, like this, in our same textbook, we have all these pictures I used, and I will display all these pictures in front of the class, and I will make the children to engage, to draw their attention towards me, and I will continue this activity. In this manner, we can make the activity. And now, is there any other thing to describe describe any subject? For example, if you want to describe any subject, you have used adjective. Inka emana unnaya? Well, high level English speakers generally use adverbs and gerunds to make the description more effective, and they will make the description a dynamic one. Avi entante, let me give a brief discussion, brief idea of the other descriptive languages. Like gerund, for example, gerund is a verb which functions as a noun. I will show this illustration and I'll explain this. For example, in this example, in spite of missing the train, we arrived on time and had a wonderful visit with my family in Vijayawada. Okay, here gerund is missing. Here it is used to describe the experience of that particular event with vividness, right? And then we can also use adverb to make a descriptive scene. Remember, the purpose of the adverb is to describe the things like how, where it has happened, how the event was happened, to what extent it was happened. ఇలాగా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక సిచ్యువేషన్ తీసుకుందాం. ఇక్కడ కాన్సర్ట్ కి వెళ్ళాను, అక్కడ జరిగిన సిచ్యువేషన్ నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాను. I loved the concert. Singer sang too loudly. Okay, here loudly modifies the verb sang, right? And to is also an adverb which modifies to what extent the singing was, degree, right? So these two adverbs helps the description more vividly and to describe in a clear and accurate manner. అర్థమైంది కదండి. సో మన అడ్జెక్టివ్సే కాకుండా adverbs, gerunds కూడా మన description లో యూజ్ చేస్తూ మన description ని ఇంకా క్లియర్ గా డైనమిక్ గా తయారు చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ I would like to quote one thing in this situation. Key to excellence is practice. So whatever we learn in this webinar classes or anywhere, we have to practice it and we have to internalize the things. And now we got a ample time in this lockdown period, so we can practice the things and we can develop our descriptive skills. Here I would like to give some strategies how to develop your descriptive skills. Let me go and see what are the strategies. First strategy is pick a subject that interests you. ఇప్పుడు మీకు బాగా నచ్చిన ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అయిన సబ్జెక్ట్ ఒకటి మీరు పిక్ చేసుకోండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డ్రీమ్ హౌస్ విచ్ యూ వాంట్ టు బై, ఆర్ అ వెకేషన్ యూ వాంట్ టు డ్రీమ్, you're dreaming to take it, or lockdown time here now your present situation how it is, and before, like we used to go to school in morning and come to home at 5 o'clock, so there is vast difference kada. So ee situations edo మీ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అయిన సిచ్యువేషన్ ని మీరు సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. అండ్ దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఐడెంటిఫై ద వర్బ్స్. సో ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ లో ఏ వర్బ్స్ వెళ్తాయి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్ మన లెసన్ ద రెసిపీ బుక్ లో రాజు వాజ్ అ మ్యాన్, he owned a small hotel and he supplies bulk orders. Ikkada owned is a verb and supplies also verb. So a particular lesson lo e verbs and meer select cheskunna subject lo what the verbs will be, you choose before itself. And now third one, gather some adjectives, gerunds and adverbs. These are the descriptive language as we know. So for example mana recipe book adjectives like it's a big, the food was delicious. Delicious food ki sambandhinchina adjective. Party, big party or small party, so party ki sambandhinchina. So contest ki sambandhinchi we have to choose the and make out a list of your favorite adjectives and write it down in a notes. And then lastly what we have to do is organize and structure those sentences. ఇప్పుడు వరకు మనం ఒక సబ్జెక్ట్ ని చూస్ చేసుకున్నాం, వర్బ్స్ తెలిసాయి అండ్ డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ తెలిసింది. ఇప్పుడు now we have to learn how to make a meaningful sentence. Like subject, verb, agreement, ఇవన్నీ కూడా అవ్వాలి, ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా మనకి. So for this I will tell you explain you with one table here. See, I made a table. ఇక్కడ నేను ఏం చేశానంటే ఫస్ట్ కాలమ్ లో I kept all the subject and then in the middle there is a main verb and then descriptive verb, gerunds, and last final right side I kept one more column for the nouns which we wish to describe. And first example chudandi, Raju owned a small hotel. Here Raju is a noun, owned is a verb, a small, it is a descriptive word, adjective, and hotel. Hotel is a noun. Okay. And the second example, food tastes delicious. Food is a subject, taste is a main verb, and delicious is a descriptive word, adjective, as you all know. And last one, he supplied bulk orders. So in this way we will make our sentences by practicing in a tabular form. Let me quick review all the 4 strategies. First thing we have to answer.
Try to complete your session as early as possible. Okay.
Yes sir. So first thing we have to identify the verb, and then we have to create a the descriptive language, and finally we have to make our organize the sentences. So this way we can develop the descriptive skills ourselves. And finally here I would like to share one video I felt which is very effective to use in your classroom also. Sir, shall I share video?
Sure ma'am. Yeah, sure ma'am.
Question me. Today's category is classroom objects. Remember, I'll give you the description and you ask the question. Are you ready? Let's do it. So this is the first object. It is small, it is rectangular, and made of metal.
Easier to sharpen it?
Awesome! Excellent job. The next object. They're irregular and they're made of plastic and metal.
Are they scissors?
Great! Very well done. The last object. It is white, it is sticky, and it is liquid.
Is it blue?
Amazing job! Congratulations, Michelle.
I think you find this video effective, useful in your classroom. So we can take so many videos from the YouTube and we can play to our students. Main thing ఏంటంటే మన circumstances లో situations, authentic material పిల్లల్ని అడిగి తీసుకొచ్చి ఆ మెటీరియల్ యూస్ చేస్తూ క్లాస్ రూమ్ ని డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ మోర్ ఎఫెక్టివ్ గా చేసుకోవచ్చు. So ultimate aim of every teacher is to provide a strong pedestal to every learner to come out with their own ideas and thoughts. అంతే కదండి. So I would like to conclude my session with a quote. If you have to go into anything wholeheartedly in order to achieve anything worth having. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, SCRP.
Thank you, Samadha Garu. That was a good presentation. Ishmael Garu, can we have some questions?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ms. Samta Garu. Nice presentation. And your Anandapuram Mandal teachers conveying you, they are very proud and they are thanking you also. Yes. So, ma'am, Neelavenu Garu, again requesting to explain or give some examples for gerunds.
For gerunds. Okay, now gerunds, as Samata has rightly pointed out, these are verbs, but then they do the job of a noun. Now, say for example, if I tell you reading is a good habit, now the main verb in that particular sentence is. Reading is a good habit. But you might be wondering, reading also looks like a verb. To read is a verb. But here, reading is the habit. So it performs the job of a noun there. So that is a gerund. Swimming is good for health. So swimming there becomes a noun. So there is a lot of information on this. If you can try and explore whether it is books or internet, you should be able to get it. And we can use these gerunds also in our daily spoken language.
Thank you very much,
for that
madam.
question.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for nice answer also. Ms. Madhavi, she's asking that what is the difference between positive thinking and optimistic thinking?
As I said earlier, English has a rich repository of words. So there are a lot of synonyms. In the previous session, we had one question like, what is the difference between a dictionary and a thesaurus? Now, thesaurus will be able to give us a lot of synonyms. Positive and optimistic are both synonyms. They can be used interchangeably.
Thank you so much. Again, another such question, Sishwara or two. What is the difference between homework and housework?
I think I explained it very clearly. When you say homework, teachers, we give our children homework, but housework, as teachers, we go to our homes and we do the housework.
Another question is from Karuna Sagar. Could you please give some examples or tell me which type of words we need to use to describe about our own feelings?
Okay. Now, this is a very deep question, I would say. When you're describing your feelings, it is not very easy. If you look at movies, to describe the feeling, there are so many songs and so many words in your mother tongue. Similarly, in English also, if you can refer to the feelings wheel I gave you, in the feelings wheel, there are so many words that can describe your feelings. So please go back to your reading material. There is a feelings wheel, which I have used to describe your emotions. You should be able to get many words to describe the right emotion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Uday Kanalu is asking, madam, some simple situations where we can, I mean, for the rural students, how to describe the things about this question is somewhat confusing. Let me give some time.
No, I understood the question.
Yes.
I read the question also. Udaya Kiremalu has asked how to create classroom situations for the rural students. Now,
Yeah.
as Samatha also explained, the textbook itself contains lot of situations. Based on the textbook, if we start describing, if we do the classroom transaction, lot of situations can be created. He doesn't have to worry about creating extra situations. You look at the textbook itself, you will get lot of situations to teach them descriptive skills.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much. And so many things already you have covered. Many doubts what you posted now in the comment section already you have covered in your talk.
Yes.
So really amazing presentation, and I am me too learning many things in this conversations. Thanks for giving such opportunity. I thank our government of Andhra Pradesh also for the same. For this amazing presentation and fantastic topic, I convey our thanks, sincere thanks to Dr. Shoba Garu from Anna University, as well. I also thank new resource person, Miss Samatha Garu from MPPS, Samatha Garu from MPPS School, Netheru, Anandapuram Mandalam, Vishakhapatnam. Thank you very much. Your teachers also really posting a lot of things for you. So thank you very much. Thank you so much to one and all. And we'll wait for tomorrow's topic. Thanks for, and we'll signing out for today. Thank you. Dhanyavadalu.
ధన్యవాదాలు.